Welcome to the Go Pitch Win podcast, the show where entrepreneurs pitch their best business ideas to our industry leaders. Each week, one will move forward towards the grand prize, $10,000. One winner. So get ready. And now, here's your host, Greg Mercer.
Welcome to today's episode of Go Pitch Win. I'm your host, Greg Mercer, and today I'm joined by guest judge Mike Jackness. Mike's been in e-commerce since 2013, runs 4 different brands: Ice Wraps, Color It, Wild Baby, and Tactical.com. He's on track to do 8 figures in 2018 and somehow manages to find the time to blog, podcast, and document his journey at ecomcrew.com.
Previously on Go Pitch Win.
So we're here to talk with you about the mason jar handle, which relates to a very iconic product, an iconic piece of drinkware. And it's the world's first patented screw-on jar handle.
It consists of stroller straps. So these are rubber bands that are connected with a bungee cord that you basically stretch out. You put it on the wheel of a stroller, and when you roll the wheel, it creates this bump.
Which business will move forward? Find out today.
Mike and I have listened to 2 different contestants pitch their business ideas today. And in this episode, we will choose one to move forward to the final round. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. This has been a lot of fun.
It really has. It's been a lot of fun listening to Garrison and Shay tell us about the mason jar handle, as well as Alexi tell us about Sleepy Stroll. So to start, why don't you give a quick overview and your first impressions on Garrison and Shay's business, the mason jar handle?
Yeah, so I mean, I think they have an amazing idea. I think both products were amazing. So that's always cool when you have a product that is just so darn awesome. They're an amazing couple. I thought that was just like fun, like watching the dynamic between them. They seem like really cool people. Military guy, which obviously when I thank him for his service, it's really cool. That's just kind of his life, what he's gone through. And they came back and thought of this idea that I think can resonate with a lot of people. I mean, I think probably everyone listening to this has probably drank out of a mason jar at some point, some people more than others, but a lot of like trendy, cool places like serve you cocktails in mason jars. And when I lived back east, there was a lot of people that it was a kind of a thing that everyone had mason jars in their cupboard. It doesn't seem to be as much of a SoCal thing, but definitely know when I lived in Texas, for instance, it was definitely ubiquitous there. So I think that that's really cool. And I think that the customization aspect is really neat. Like, I think that would be like just another angle. So it's not only just like utilitarian, like being able to put this on your mason jar, but have the opportunity to also use it as a wedding gift or, you know, something for like a housewarming gift or a baby shower or whatever other type of thing you can think of to like mark an important event in your life, or businesses wanting to like get their brand out there. Definitely a lot of really cool things going for them.
I just couldn't stop smiling at Garrison and Shay. They were just like the cutest little like all-American family couple, you know? And like just they had like this awesome shop, you know, in the background where they're like doing the work themselves. They're like both like welders and metal workers. Actually, I think they said they both are in the military, which is pretty amazing. And you could just tell like how passionate and like energetic they were about this business that they've created. Just kind of like the all-American entrepreneurial couple. It was really cool to like listen to them and hear about that. And it was overall, I think it's a good business idea as well. So, we'll talk in a few minutes about some of the pros and the cons, or the hesitations we have about their business. But before we do, give us a quick overview of Alexi and the Sleepy Stroll.
Yeah, I mean, another great product. I mean, it's so hard to find 2 amazing products. I think when you do something like this, I feel like I'm fortunate. I haven't seen the other episodes, but yeah, I mean, this is another one of these awesome products. I think about, as an entrepreneur, as an e-commerce seller myself, it's so hard sometimes to get people to like want to give you their money. And this is one of these products where if he can get the messaging across properly, like people will throw the money at him at all costs to like fix this problem, because sleep deprivation like really sucks. And when you're having to like deal with your kid just like crying nonstop, definitely something that you want to fix. And as I mentioned to him during our chat, someone in our office right now was dealing with this exact problem. I can tell the nights when her son has gotten a good night's sleep or not. based on just the good morning that I get. And I think that she would do anything to fix that problem. It's definitely an interesting idea. And he mentioned through not a completely scientific survey, but probably pretty dead on, an 89% success rate, which is really high. So his return rate probably would be low. And again, if you can get the messaging across, I think both products have this problem. If you can get the messaging across and get the person to have that aha moment, there will be no hesitation for them to give you the cash.
Yeah, I don't have any kids, but I can imagine if or when I do that, I'll probably pay well over $15 if it's like a device that causes kid to go to sleep, right? Like if it just works one time, that's probably worth $15 to me.
He's got to figure out a way to put this thing like on a monthly payment plan. It's like every month that you keep using it, you got to send me like another $10. Otherwise, it self-destructs.
I think people would probably subscribe to that, for the people that it works for. And you're totally right. This is like another like super cool invention. I love this, and I love both these inventions actually because they're pretty simple yet like solve a need. The mason jar handle, that might be like a little bit more like of a novelty, just like cool, cute, kind of like nice to have. The sleepy stroll, it probably solves like a very real problem that a lot of people have, like getting their kids to fall asleep. And that just means strapping these little things on your wheels and rolling it around. And that's what causes your kid to sleep. That's a very cool, just like simple invention that still like serves a nice need.
The video that he showed was awesome. It was just like this baby you could see was like wide awake, looked like she had toothpicks in her eyes, and then they started rolling down the street for 30 seconds, and it was just like, so that was pretty cool.
Couldn't have chosen like a better video, or like gotten a better video of just like, right, within like 10 seconds, right, this kid's asleep.
Yeah.
You definitely need some influencers posting videos like that have like these large audiences. Let's jump back to the mason jar handle. What are your overall thoughts or opinion about the business as a whole, the health of the business, and the potential future of this business?
Scalability might be an issue for them. That was like one of the things I was looking at. I mean, they're obviously passionate about making this thing and everything, and part of it is made in China, but until they can get their supply chain more simplified, that's one thing I think is a challenge, like having to order one component and then wait 6 weeks for it to get across the ocean and then get it into another welder's hands in the US, and then have to also deal with the customization angle. That concerns me for sure, because I can see this being one of these things that goes viral, and in that instance, you don't want to run out because you don't want to miss out on that momentum. It's hard to like re-get that back versus if we're comparing side by side, the Sleepy Stroller, I think that supply chain thing's way easier. You can probably just send an email to a supplier. The whole thing's like already ready to go. And he could even airship a finished product over here in an emergency if he had to. So that would be one thing that would concern me with the mason jar.
Yeah, I agree with you. It sounds like their supply chain right now is a huge headache. And I think this is kind of like a classic example probably of like very just like passionate entrepreneurs who are willing to put up with a lot of headaches and like complications in their business and don't quite keep track of like all the time that they're spending versus just having like one person handle this whole thing. So I think that's like a good lesson for them to learn. And really like for $3 a pops actually seems kind of expensive to me for that particular item. I think like with the right manufacturer and maybe using a different type of stainless steel or a different metal or something, I would imagine that you should be able to get the cost of those things down to like $1 a pop or something. I'm just kind of,
I would say a sub $1 actually.
Yeah. Like I've never manufactured this particular product, but I have quite a bit of experience with just different products. And it seems to me like you should, this is the thing right here, right? This is a fairly simple piece of metal. There's two different pieces that they have to cut and bend and then one weld to combine them. So I would think the right factory should I know the right factory can do that whole thing and should be able to drive down the cost, especially in kind of like bulk ordering. The customization thing probably in the future is going to need to be thought about whether it's worth it or not. Like long term, if you're really talking about scaling this up, it's probably not realistic to have, all these different types of metals, and some are laser etched and some are powder coated and some are painted and some are painted and then screen printed and everything else. I imagine to really kind of like scale it up, you'd probably choose a few of the customization options that were whether they're
the most popular.
Yeah, most popular or easiest for you to do, or like most cost effective, or whatever else. It seems like right now
you need to go with the Henry Ford method of customization. You can have it in any color you want as long as it's black, kind of thing. It's
This is probably, I think, again, like another classic example of like an entrepreneur just like hustling in the early days, just to like, I'll customize it however you want. I don't care. Just tell me and I'll make it happen. But to turn this into like a more of a scalable business, they're gonna have to kind of probably fine tune that.
Yeah, there's actually an episode of The Prophet. I don't know if you've ever watched that television show with tiny houses, and they had the exact same thing where they were just like, they'll do anything for their customer. And we had learned this lesson when we were younger in our entrepreneurial career too. Like if you want to scale, you have to limit the options, and customers don't know what the other options even are if you'd only present them with the ones that are best for you.
Yeah, that's another good point. I imagine they're going to see that as well. And I see a lot of future for this particular product, like I can see like the influencer marketing again, and like on Pinterest and whatever else, having all these cute little photos of these Southern gals drinking these mason jars, these little handles. Like I can see that doing well. I can also potentially see the play where you go more like the corporate route, and Jungle Scout orders 100 of these handles with our logo, imprinted on it. Like our next team offsite, we're actually talking about like doing at a ranch. Like this would be like a cool thing to give like to everyone, right? Like we sit on this like Texas ranch with our mason jar handles. Like I can see us purchasing those potentially.
I'm just hoping that I qualify as being a part of the team now.
Oh yeah, if we do that, you're in. Let's jump back now to Alexi and the Sleepy Stroll. What are your thoughts about that overall from strictly a business standpoint?
His biggest challenge is convincing people that this is the thing that they need, right? It's hard to communicate. If you watch something like Shark Tank, they always talk about like, if this is like on the end cap of the aisle, can someone get that aha thing as they're like walking by, is that just, oh my God, this is going to solve this problem. And I think that that's like the hardest thing for him, is to get people to have that aha moment, be like, holy crap, like I can start getting sleep again now because I can put this on my stroller's tires. Like I would just be like, what does that thing do, and keep on walking and not really quite get it, because it's hard to have a video on the end cap. So I think from a business side, that's probably his biggest challenge.
Yeah, there's a lot of like awareness that would need to be brought to it, right? Like if you see a demo or watch the video or whatever else, it's like, oh,
it's like, boom, I got it.
Right. I snap that on, and it starts like, just causing little bumps. But you're right. I'm trying to think in my head right now, and that would be difficult to communicate that like just through a piece of packaging on an end cap, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you start doing demos and videos, it's easy, but just through photos, it's kind of difficult.
The upside to that is that this is the internet age, right? So you can do that pre-awareness marketing. You don't have to be in a retail situation. I don't know that that's really what this product is destined for, at least not in the short term. It wouldn't be the thing that he's looking to do anywhere near in the next couple of years, right? So like it's on Amazon, people that find out about it through a YouTube channel or Instagram videos or Pinterest or whatever it might be, and that they're pre-primed and I've already had that aha moment, I think it can be very easy. But even still, it's like, he has that search volume already. There's already people looking for baby sleep aids on Amazon, and until he could figure out a way to get that messaging across to convince them to purchase, I think that's going to be the struggle.
Yeah, and it seems like with Alexi, it seems like just what I got out of the interview, it seems like he's pretty passionate about like inventing these things, right? And I mean, that's like fun, especially like if your brain kind of works like that. But it seemed like no probably real previous marketing experience, and that's kind of just what that product is lacking, right? Like Alexi really needs just like a partner in this business who's just like a great digital marketer, and I think like the two of them teaming up could probably do great things.
I agree. Yeah.
So comparing the two businesses, what would you guess has the best potential for like future growth and for the future success of these businesses?
The one with the biggest growth potential has to be the mason jar thing for me. There's a couple different reasons why. The biggest is comparing the two products. The mason jar, you can sell the same customer more than one. I think that in e-commerce is really, really important thing. Not only selling them more than one at the time of sale, but like as a win back campaign. I think that's like a really important thing. I think that the customization angle can get them like these really large orders. Again, buying more than one. That aspect to me, I think, is really important. And also just it's easier just to kind of get it and have an aha moment. You can almost like have a a 1, 2, 3 picture, like in one still photo that's like kind of broken up into 1, 2, 3, and just be like, I got what this thing does. I don't want to burn my hand on a hot mason jar or get cold hands or wet hands from a cold mason jar. We've all been through both of those things. I think it's just easier to kind of explain it as well.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. All things considered, you know, like the quality of a product, the market potential, the founders for both of these. This actually was really tough. The past few episodes, it's been a little bit easier for me to choose one clear winner because both of these are actually really solid. But I think I would give the mason jar handle a slight edge. It's a cool product, and probably just more than that, the founding team, Garrison and Shay, I just see them like running through walls. Like they will not stop, you know, until this thing is successful. Like these people probably like don't sleep, right? Like they're too excited, like staying up late about, you know, like painting these handles, and they'll do whatever it takes. Probably actually the hardest thing for them is going to be, you know, just because like they're so energetic and have probably like so many different ideas about how to market it and everything else. I think I actually foresee the hardest challenges for them in the future, narrowing down what they should spend their time on for what's actually going to move the needle. You know, it's like, you know, as great as like Shay is probably like powder coating and painting things and stuff, like that's not the best use of her time in the future, right? To grow this business. And that's probably what's going to be hard for them. And
I actually see their biggest challenge, like I had a list of like pros and cons I had written out here. Their biggest challenge is just, again, also the same as the stroller thing, like the market awareness thing, like, but they're at a bigger disadvantage. The mason jar would be at a bigger disadvantage because no one's searching for it yet, where the baby stroller product, there's already a bunch of searches around baby sleep aids, which I think gives them a huge leg up. No one's searching for a mason jar handle. I think that's their biggest challenge right now, but I do think that can be overcome with some influencer marketing and social media marketing, and it has the potential to become like viral really quickly. That's why the supply chain thing was already a concern in my mind. And because of the aspect of being able to purchase more than one, like I just look at like compounding interest kind of thing, right? It's just like the scalability could be like a rocket ship because of that. So yeah, I mean, even with the challenge, the one big challenge I think they have, I still would give the edge to the mason jar handle.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's like one of those products like in what's that called, like Sky Mall magazine. It's like a product that would do great and just things like that. Like people looking for products that they don't know they need, but you're totally right about bringing awareness to that. I do think they have a opportunity in the future just to do like podcasts and kind of something similar to what they're doing right here. Just like tell this story. It's a really cool story, right? Like the generations of metalworker and everything else, and how much like they hustle, and they're really fun to listen to and watch. So I mean, just like things like that. I imagine just some people listening to this would be like, dang, it is a cool product, and it's like it's a really cool like business, you know, to support as well.
I'm gonna go buy some.
Yeah, I think I'm going to as well. For our team offsite, I think we're gonna have to get those now.
Nice.
Any other last thoughts about either the comparison of these two businesses, or final thoughts that you would give either of them advice to succeed in the future?
Final thought, I would say, like I haven't been a part of the other one, so it's hard for me to say how strong all the other competitions have been, but I can wholeheartedly say that if I stumbled upon either one of these products and was able to like sell these myself, I'd be very excited about either one. I really think that both are very solid. The things that kind of won out, as we already talked about more, is I know how hard it is to get sales in e-commerce, so having the ability to sell the same person more than one would be the real edge. But even still, I think both are great products, and they should both be really proud of what they created. It always sucks not winning something, so wanted to throw that out. That I think both products are really good. For both of them, I think both things have that awareness issue. I would focus more effort into like creating a video around the product and getting people to kind of have that aha, because both of them have that challenge in place. And the other thing would be just to stay in your lane. And like one of the things that came up was just like, I only spent so much dollars on a marketing campaign. It might not seem like much to you. I can tell you that there was a day when I was only spending those dollars as well. I've been at this since 2013. I know you've been at this for a while. The tendency is to see people that have been doing this for a long time and are successful and not think about like how hard the road was to get to this point. And I think that both of them should just take a step back, appreciate what they've done so far, and just keep things relative to where they're at and just keep growing their business. I think they're both going to be very successful.
Those are some wise words of wisdom, because you're completely right that 99% or more percent of people never get to the stage that either of them are at right now, right? So both of them definitely deserve a pat on the back for that. And although Alexi at Sleepy Stroll won't be moving forward to the next round, he may have gotten a little bit shafted because he had a really strong competition. If he went up against a weaker competitor, I'd say there's a good chance that he would have moved on to the final round. And you're totally right. For both of these contestants and anyone else listening, that just understand, right? Just like you said, that you don't get to a large business kind of like overnight. Everyone starts somewhere. They're both at that starting point, and with some hard work and some smart decisions moving forward, they can definitely continue to scale up and grow these into very sizable businesses. Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up this interview. Garrison and Shay with the Mason jar handle will be moving forward to the final round.
Congratulations. Woo!
Woo! Alexi with the Sleepy Stroll had a great product, but unfortunately he won't be moving forward. If you're interested in purchasing either of these products, you can find the Mason jar handle at themasonjarhandle.com. You can find the Sleepy Stroll on Amazon just by searching for the Sleepy Stroll. And Mike, if people want to learn more about you, your products, where is the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, I mean, we blog about almost everything we do and podcast twice a week about that stuff at Ecom Crew. So ecomcrew.com or Ecom Crew on iTunes, ECOMCREW.
Thank you very much for spending a big chunk of your busy day with us, Mike. We've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
No problem, man. This was awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Go Pitch Win podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear the next great business idea, then make sure to subscribe and join us in the next episode.